Coach Craddock.
Offensive, and Harris and offensive built obviously a lot different from yours. Is there going to be a lot of emphasis on maybe weight loss or quick speed over strength?
Yeah, our offense is going to be a little bit different. Obviously, Coach Morris hit on the fact that Coach True is going to run our guys a little bit more. We got a little bit of weight to lose up front and at several positions. We're just going to train differently. It's a different style of offense. It's a fast-paced offense. We're going to do a lot more running, I think, than our guys were used to. But we're looking forward to getting in the offseason and getting with Coach True and letting him get his hands on those guys.
I got this right. In 2014, you're a GA at Clemson. 4 years later, you're an offensive coordinator in the SEC. I mean, did you imagine things moving this quickly?
You know, I didn't. Me and Coach Morris have actually talked about that, how fast it's moved for him and how fast it's moved for me. It's just attributed to being around great people. I haven't done it on my own. I understand that. But I've also worked really, really hard, and I think that I made that impression on Coach Morris early on, and I've been able to keep that up by working hard and trying to outwork everybody else.
You've had a little bit longer than Chief has to see what's on campus. Can you talk to us about when you weren't recruiting, if you were able to look at any film, evaluate any of the current personnel?
Yeah, you know, we did. We've actually been doing a lot of that, trying to figure out what we got. What our needs are, immediate needs, and you know, I've told Coach Morris I'm really excited about what I see. When we first got to SMU, the style of offense was a lot different than what we play, and we didn't have tight ends. We didn't have a single one on the roster, and like Coach said, we're a two-back run-oriented team that we have to have a tight end. We have to have that hybrid sniffer kind of position, and when I look at it, that's the most exciting I am about a position that we have plenty of guys like that we feel like they can play and play at a high level. So really excited about what we have coming back.
How would you address the quarterback from what you've seen on film, what you've got? I know there's really not much of anybody else to play.
Yeah, you know, it's hard because Cole is the only one that's really got a lot of reps. I know Ty's played a little bit, but we've also gone back and looked at practices. A lot of Skelly. But again, it's just a different kind of style of offense that they're running. So we've had talks. I've talked to every single one of those guys. Still trying to get in touch with a couple of the walk-on guys. But you know, I've talked to those guys about what we're going to be about, what we're going to do, so they can still go ahead and start working on that. You know, I think Cole's biggest thing is he's got to drop some weight, which it's not a new thing for us. Our quarterback last year had the similar deal, dropped about 15, 20 pounds and really played at a high level this year. So I've shared that with Cole, and he actually talked to him this morning, and he's down some weight. So really excited about that. But our quarterback competition is going to be wide open. We don't want to judge on our guys on a previous offense and different style. We really want to get in there and get our system implemented and see who really fits us the best. And when you talk about who's going to be the guy, is it a guy that's a system fit? Is it a guy that's the best? We're looking for a winner. We want a guy that's going to win us football games, and that's what it's all about. And that's what we're going to be looking for this spring. It meant a lot. I mean, I know Coach Morris. Like he said, we work hand in hand. We work closely together. But I know that was tough for him to do because he's an offensive-minded coach by trade, and I know it was very, very tough. He's told me that. But also, it meant a lot to me that he trusts me enough to get it done. And I know I wouldn't want to be him. I'm not jealous of him at all. He's got a lot of things on his plate. And for me to be able to pick up that slack is very important to me, and it meant a whole lot.
So there's a number of SMU people coming over. What is it about what was built at SMU that you all feel like you can replicate?
Absolutely. I think, you know, one of the biggest things that just comes to mind is family. I know a lot of people talk about family. You heard Coach Morris talk about our wives and how that is so much important in what we do. But the family atmosphere that everybody talks about, we truly are about that. And I think you see that by who Coach brought with him. And I know Coach, like Coach Chavis said, he has an unbelievable vision. I know he's been around some great coaches at other stops that had a great vision and kind of gave him the blueprint to what he's trying to do now. And he implemented that in 3 years at SMU. We had a huge turnaround there, and look forward to seeing what Coach is going to help us do here. It is. Just like Coach Chavis said, it's all about continuity. I'm extremely excited about my staff. I've been with a lot of those guys for a couple years now, and the continuity that we have, I mean, they know what I'm looking for, and they know what Coach Morris is looking for, and it just makes for an easy transition getting here. I know Coach hit on a little bit with Mark Smith having to help with the defensive side of the ball on a couple things, and how we're already familiar with that. That's been a huge help, I think, in making this transition a little bit easier.
On game days, are you in the press box?
I have been, yes, sir.
The field?
We haven't made that decision yet. We'll talk about that more as we go, but probably so. Probably so.
Probably so. I'm sorry, which press box?
Press box, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
Evaluation of the running backs that you've seen on campus.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we recruited several of them. Knew we didn't have a shot at them, but we tried. But very excited to have those guys here. Again, just like a lot of the positions, there's some guys that need to get with Coach True, and they'll be just fine. But very excited about what we got in Devois and TJ and Chase and those guys, and really not knowing anything about some of them just because they haven't played much. But very excited about that group, absolutely.
Joe, how did you go from, first of all, getting the GA job at Clemson? How did that transpire? And then, of course, when Coach Morris allowed you to go to SMU,
Yeah, when I first got there, I guess it's a kind of misunderstanding a little bit. I was a player development coach at first, my first year there, and then Coach Sweeney and Coach Moore saw something in me and Coach Fry to put us on the field as GAs to see what we could really do on the field and coaching our kids. And me and Coach Fry led the scout team for 2 years that we were able to coach a lot of those guys that you saw in the national championship last year. So that was a great thing that Coach Sweeney was allowing us to get on the field and work hand in hand with Coach Morris was extremely beneficial to me because when it got time that Coach got hired at SMU, he came to me and said, I want to make you my offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. And I was like, wow, Coach. So I guess, Coach believed in me and gave me that shot, and I'm forever grateful for that.
when you look at Coach Fry, Coach Morris, what do you want the offensive line to look like? What do they need to look like?
Yeah, Coach Fry would want me to say, there's a big misconception out there that you see movies and stuff, and it's just a big fat guy playing offensive line. That's not what we want. We want a guy that he's got to be big, but he's got to be able to move. In our offense, like I've said already, that it's a fast-paced offense, but what we do in the run game, he's got to be able to move. He's got to be able to use his hands. He's got to have some strength. He's got to have flexibility. So we're looking for all those things in that. And at that position. And again, Coach True's we're going to talk more about this as we go, but Coach True's going to do a heck of a job. He knows what we want, as well as Coach Brooks, his assistant, and we'll get those guys where we want them.
You see wide receiver speed as far as evaluation of what you're inheriting. I know Coach talks about speed, but
Yes, sir.
That might be a big position where you need the speed to have it.
Again, a lot of it's going to be developed in the off season. I think the style was just different, and I do think there's a lot of talent at the receiver position. I think a lot of the speed per se, you gotta recruit that, but I think we got enough of it that we're going to be okay. I think the biggest thing at that receiver position is just the stature. We got to change the stature. We got to get some bigger guys in here. We have a couple, but we kind of have a deal. The shorter you get, the more speed you got to have. And so, but I'm really excited about those guys. We've met a lot of them, some highly recruited guys in that room, and they're looking forward. I've talked to a couple of them. They're really looking forward to the new offense and the style of play that we're going to bring.
What's your personal style? How would you describe yourself?
Well, I'm a quarterback. I like to throw the ball, but I know we got to run the football. We got to be physical up front. There's no doubt about this league. I grew up watching this league, being from Alabama. I watch this league every Saturday, and so I know you have to be able to run the football. You won't survive. You can't drop back and throw the ball 50, 60 times a game. It can't happen. And we've got to recruit to that. Our philosophy is that first anyway. On most every single play we have, even a pass play has a run check to it. And so our quarterbacks are looking for structure. And if there's a clean box, we're looking to run the football.
You grew up in Birmingham, were you an Alabama fan or Auburn fan?
I was one of the two, yeah. You had to be being from that state. I'm from Chelsea, Alabama, and it kind of not to get too much into it. My mom was actually an Alabama fan growing up. She met my dad; he was an Auburn fan, and they merged to one. But that's kind of what I grew up being. But I grew up watching this league. I watched Arkansas a lot, and I'm very excited to be wearing this Razorback on my chest.
So which one were you?
You'll have to get to know me, I guess, to find out.
And I should know that, are you like 31 or
32, yes, sir.
So you weren't born yet when John Chavis started coaching.
I don't get.
Having a guy like that.
That's awesome. That's a good question. It's going to be awesome. His knowledge of the game and of this league is I'm going to rely heavily upon to lean on Coach Chavis. And again, I remember watching Tennessee when he was at Tennessee when I was growing up a lot. My high school coaches had a little bit of a relationship with the guys at University of Tennessee, and so very excited about working with Coach Chavis, and I think he's going to really help me develop even more. But yeah, that's a great question.
Got time for a couple more? Good?
All right, thank you guys.